Improving block starts can seem really complicated, and when improving them is approached in a traditional manner, it can be. In reality, they're actually not very complicated. Let's find out why. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. This is a quick fire controversy where we take a controversial topic in swimming skill development and I let you know what I think. If there's a topic you'd like covered, drop it in the comments below. Swimmers have to accomplish 3 objectives in order to have a great start. That's it. The rest is just details. They need to get the body moving as fast as they can, they need to project out over the water, and they need to enter the water as cleanly as possible. If they can execute those 3 skills, they're going to have a really good start. Step 1 is getting the body moving forwards. When they're on the block, their center of mass is behind the block, because if it was in front of the block, they'd be in the pool, and so they have to get that center of mass moving forwards as fast as they can. How do they do that? They push really hard off the wedge, and they pull really hard with their hands. That gets the body moving forwards, and the faster that happens, the sooner swimmers can execute the rest of the start. Further, the more speed they generate forwards, the easier it is to drive off the block, which means they can get even more distance off the block. So getting the body moving fast early helps them save time, and it allows them to jump further. Technically speaking, this is the easiest part, and how effective they are is also going to depend a lot on how strong they are. However, at this point, we're just talking about the skills. Next, swimmers need to project out over the water, and to do that, they need to drive really hard off their front leg. The front leg is ultimately going to determine how much force they put into the block, which determines how far out they get, and it's going to determine the angle from which they push off the block. If that shin's pointed straight up, they're going to go straight up, which is not what we want. And if that shin's pointed down, they're going to go straight down, which is not what we want. Swimmers can't really change their trajectory. They can't change their position in the air, so they have to learn how to use that front leg to send their body in the right direction with as much force as possible. Finally, swimmers need to enter the water clean. The cleaner the entry, the less resistance it creates, the less speed they lose. In contrast, the less clean the entry is, for instance, when they slap their legs on the water, the more resistance they create and the more speed they're going to lose. The better the entry is, the more of the speed they created on the block, they're going to be able to hold into the water, and that means a faster start. So how do you work on these skills? What typically doesn't work is just doing full starts and then correcting swimmers after each and every repetition. Generally speaking, things are happening way too fast, and swimmers just don't have the basic skills to make the corrections they need in order to get the results that you're looking for. So instead, there are 2 strategies that I find to be really effective. The first is one-legged dives. So what they're going to do is, from a lot of different positions in a lot of different ways, they're just going to do dives off one leg. That's going to force them to drive really hard with that front leg, and it's going to help them learn how to project at proper angles, because they're going to learn real fast, because they're only pushing off one leg. They don't push in the right direction, in the right way, they're not going to really go anywhere. So they learn real fast which angles work really well in order to get the results that they want. To help facilitate learning, I like doing it in lots of different positions. You can do it from a start, you can do it from standing, you can go off the blocks, you can go off the side. You can do it where they just kind of fall and then push. There's all sorts of different options. None are necessarily better than the other, but variety is really important. Again, the goal is to get them used to driving off the front leg and to help them figure out which angle is going to help them get the best projection. And as they get stronger and stronger, by continuing to work on this skill, that angle will likely change a little bit because of their strength profile. And because you're practicing it, they'll make those adjustments along the way. Next up is doing dives where the only focus is having absolutely clean entries. And at first, that just might mean going off the side and just falling into the water, barely even jumping, but just making sure they enter clean. From there, they can start to push a little bit harder. They can start to jump out a little bit more. They can go off the blocks. They can go from a starting position. That process might take a long time. It might take weeks. It might take months. It might even take years for younger swimmers. But if you're always working on clean entries, all they're ever going to do is clean entries, and they're going to figure out over time how to go from a very basic start to one where they really jump out and they just do an actual start from the blocks, and they'll still have the skill of entering clean. You just keep progressing it, you just keep challenging them, provided that they can still enter the water cleanly. And again, as they continue to get stronger, their capabilities will improve. If you want to know more about the skills of starting, check out the video here.